I went to Start High School. I went to Start High School in Toledo.
Okay, and so
Yeah.
now, can you share with me at that time what are some of the things that you took with you, if you could, recall that? What are some of the things you took with you from junior high, and as far as your transitioning into high school? Did you have like, because that's when you kind of blossom a little bit
Hmm.
more, and
Hmm.
you're kind of filling in, and
Hmm.
you're getting into,
Yeah.
you're getting into dating, or you're getting into just a whole nother level of self discovery. So give us, because give us a little bit of deep dive into high school.
So when I was in high school, I actually had went to a school called DeVilbiss. It's closed down now, but I went there as a freshman, and I absolutely loved that school. But they ended up closing it, and then they split us all up and sent us to different schools. So I ended up going to Start, and at that time, it was a predominantly white school, so they did not want us to come. They actually would like they wrote on the school rock and would, put the N word and just all type of stuff. It was just they did not want us there. I mean, it was a lot of press and a lot of meetings that had to take place. So when I went starting my sophomore year, it was very uncomfortable because I knew they didn't want us there. So I just kind of my sister, she's 2 years older than me, so I just kind of made sure that I stuck close to her when I could. And I was a tomboy, so I had a lot of like male friends. So like that was just like who I clicked with. So a lot of them, I would just hang out with them, because they just made me comfortable. Um, but yeah, that's definitely was a defining moment for me when I started building my confidence more as far as now that's where I could say that's where I began standing in who I am, because I was unapologetic, for my color. I was unapologetic for where I was supposed to be. It was my school just as much as it was theirs. And I wasn't gonna bow my head, for anyone. Um I got to know a little bit more people as I went on. Um, I did not play any sports there, though. I didn't play any sports. I did play sports, when I was a freshman. I was a cheerleader there. But at start, I just didn't have a desire to because I don't even think they would have allowed us. It was like, majority whites.
Yeah, yeah, prejudice.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
it was a very segregated school. Um, but I enjoyed that more than I did junior high. I can
That's
say
good.
that.
That's progress.
I can say that.
Mhm.
But and then I also ended up I got pregnant in high school. So I had a son. I got pregnant at 16. And that's why you have to practice safe sex, kids. I got pregnant the first time.
Oh wow.
Time.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah. But
Yes, it takes this one time.
yeah, yeah. But I still went ahead, did everything that I needed to do, graduated,
Did you lose? I'm sorry. I just out of curiosity,
Yeah.
Crystal, is that when you lost your V card too?
Is that what?
Is that when you lost? You gave your V card. You gave your V card. That's the time.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, crazy, right?
No, not so much because I
I
mean
mean, I
it's
mean,
more
because
common than you think. I get it. It's more common than you
logically
think, but
it
I get it.
happens, but
Yeah, I get it.
when you a teen and you don't know any, better, it's kind of like, oh, okay, it's a shocker.
But you know what? I want you, okay, let's pause on the high school right quick.
Mhm.
Because I definitely want to touch on you being a teen mom, PK teen mom.
I knew you was, I knew it was
I
coming.
mean, I had to hear this one. I gotta hear this. Go.
So basically, I hid my pregnancy from my parents. So my parents didn't know that I was pregnant until I was 8 months pregnant. It was a long time. It was very stressful, very stressful. I didn't know what I was gonna do. Um, it was a time. I hid it from my siblings. Nobody knew. Um, two of my closest girlfriends, two of my best friends, they knew. They were the only people that knew, of course, and his father knew, and his best friend. But other than that, no one knew. Um, but then apparently it got out, so my parents, they just called me in one day. I heard them on the phone having a phone conversation, and they called me into their room. I went in, and then they just asked me, like, they just said such and such, which was a parent of one of the people I went to school with, said that you were pregnant. Are you pregnant? And at that time I just busted out crying. I said, yeah, I'm pregnant. And they weren't hard on me. They were hard on me. They asked me how far along I was, and I said, I think I'm 8 months. And my mom was just shocked, like, 8 months, and she said, what do you mean you think? And I said, I haven't been to the doctor. And she was just like, Krystal, you haven't been to the doctor?
That whole time,
And
I was wondering about that. You haven't been to the
yeah,
doctor, no prenatal, no
yeah,
nothing.
nothing,
Wow.
nothing. I used to wear baggy clothes, just to try to hide it. Um, Dealing with all the morning sickness, everything, I hit it all. Throwing up in school, all of it, I hit it all. And they took me right away to the doctor. That next day, that following day, they took me to the doctor. And I remember hearing my mom have a conversation one time saying, yeah, we weren't hard on her because we knew that she had dealt with a lot, dealing with that on her own. And we didn't want to make it more rough, on her. So that's why they never gave me, like,
Wow, that's okay. That I'm okay.
yeah.
That's awesome.
But I needed that. I needed that. Like, that was what I needed at that time, because I did deal with that by myself as a young person for a long time. So I was happy that they were able to see that that was what was needed in that moment. And yeah, my dad sat me down. Back to your question about the church, he sat me down. I wasn't able to sing. I wasn't able to do anything because I was like a praise team member and in the choir and all that. And and he told me couldn't do that. Because I wasn't married or anything. So yeah, yep.
Yes, yes. So, Krystal, so, before we go back into the high school phase,
Hmm.
can you please give the girls a little bit of a PSA, and the guys too, and as a teen mom at that time, and what you had experienced, and just overall, just having a child at that time. Can you give us a little PSA on on
I just, I feel like this. There's so much life to live. There's so much life to live. Babies are a wonderful, wonderful blessing. And I thank God every day for even allowing me to, or trusting me, to even be able to take care of, someone else. I think though that make some really good decisions. Think about, what you want to do first. Think about your life, because there was a lot of things that I had to give up, because I was a teen mother. Like, I had different I had a internship that I was able to do, that I was going to be doing with Sean John, but I ended up turning it down.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And then I had another opportunity to move to California, and go to school there, but I was so scared because I didn't want anybody watching my baby. So it just, I had to shift a lot of things. I just had to shift a lot of things. I didn't experience a lot of things that some other people did. Like, I didn't go to the prom. I didn't go to the prom or anything
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So, and my parents were very, very hands on. But still, at the same time, just being a mother, there was just things I just had to sacrifice. You know, but there's just more time to do it. There's more time, and then make sure you're gonna be with that person that you wanna, you know, because it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of, talking back and forth for all those years, and you just want to make sure that you have the same belief system, you're thinking on the same wavelength, and things like that, because things shift, parenting is not easy, so things shift. So, make sure that I mean, to each his own, everybody's going to do their own. I'm just saying from a teen mother perspective, I just say, there's time for that, so just wait it out and see what you want to do with your future first, and then make those decisions and make sure it's someone that you love. I would even say wait till you get married, but but that's
Mhm. Well said, Krystal. Boom. That's my boom. Well said. Yeah, so yeah, I do appreciate that perspective, and it was coming from a genuine space, so I do appreciate that.
Mhm,
And
you will.
so now going back into the high school, we was talking about you didn't do as much cheerleading, and that you had but you had more of a more pleasant time than junior high. And what are some of the other experiences that you had, and the self discovery? I don't think we got into the self discovery part yet.
I think pretty much for me, the self discovery came outside of school. It came
Okay,
through different things that I did on my own, just my own experiences. I had began, because I always had. I started a production company when I was 19 years old. Was I not
really?
17? I
Oh,
started
you're
a
so smart. Oh, look
and
at you.
I used to do plays, so I would write plays and
Really?
and I had like rented out the Stranahan Theater, which is a huge theater in Toledo, and I sold tickets. I mean, like I was able to pay all my actors and actresses, my band, like I,
Oh, so wait a
had
minute.
that
Hold on,
mindset.
hold on. Wait,
Mhm.
pause. Wait, hold on, Crystal. Because I'm like, you're 19. So, and this is something you did right after high school, right?
Yeah.
So how did it, I mean, so what kind of support did you get? What kind of, like, who sponsored? You got to get the sponsors, investments. Like, how did that come about?
I did
Yeah.
it all on my own. I did it all
How?
on my own.
Yeah,
What
give
I
us a little bit of a cliff note. So how did that start? Because that's very important, by the way. How did that start for you? And when did you, like, what made you decide, like, where did I come from? Like, give us some of the cliff notes.
Well, I will always like do different plays, put on plays and stuff at church and things like that. I will put on different plays and have the church people audition to be in my plays and things like that.
Ah,
Put on productions and stuff. And then eventually I just said, you know what? I could make money off this. And so one day I hired a girl to assist me. She became my assistant. I write, so I wrote the play,
so
did
where did you get the money
auditions.
from to assist? Would you have a part-time job at the time? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, how did you,
Yeah,
where did that
well,
come from?
I started working at 15 because, like I
Okay.
said before, my
Yeah.
mom had said that I was always independent. So
Right.
I started working at 15
Gotcha.
and I moved out the house at 18. So I was always like, wanting to do, my own thing. So basically, yes. So I would pay her out of that, out of, my money that I was making,
Well, excuse
my
me.
job.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, excuse.
And then I rented like this school. It was another school that had got shut down and they had a nice auditorium. I rented that school. I sold tickets. I reached out to like the local papers, did advertising with the local papers. I went to the store, got bulk candy, bulk drinks, raised the prices on them so that I could get revenue. Um, Basically, so I made a lot of the money from the high candy because granted, when I was 15, I started working at the movies and the movies alone is expensive. So that's why I learned how
Yes.
to hike prices.
Yes.
So I knew
Yes.
I would pay because I worked at the movies, so I hiked the prices just like they did at the movies. And you selling $5 for a Snicker bar, they're not gonna go out. They're gonna get that $5 Snicker bar. So I was making money like that. And then from the ticket sales and everything that I got, that's why I was able to gross. It was I didn't do any other advertising other than like the newspaper. I did like we had a black newspaper that went out and everybody read that, so I posted it in there, a few times. And then it was a nice turnout. I ended up making like my first time. It was like $10,000, but still that was good to
What
me.
you mean,
That
10,000? That is awesome. What you talking about? Don't downplay that, Crystal. You are 19 years old doing this. 19, 20. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank
What
you.
you mean? Oh, no, no, no. We're not gonna don't do that. No.
But thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
of course. Of course. I don't think Tyler Perry made that much in this first play. You was living in his car at the time. You weren't. So we
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah, yeah. I always made a way. Like I was just always like that. I can remember like being young, and wanting a certain Barbie doll, and my mom would tell me, "Okay, well, if you get the money, I would go and do like a lemonade stand outside, and the people would stop and buy my lemonade until I got enough money to buy my Barbie, and then I would go and get my Barbie. So it's like I've always had that.
Wow.
You know,
Amazing. You know what? You sound just like Nelson J. Davis. Shout out to him. It's innovative, that innovative stuff. Because he said, like,
Mhm.
Had got a t-shirt company back in
Mhm.
junior high. And I remember you talk about the Barbie doll thing. And I remember when he said he went fishing with his father one time, and he was like
Uh-huh.
about 4 or 5. He's about 4 or 5 years old, mind you. And
Uh-huh.
I love telling the story because he was saying about how he wanted a soda, and his father
Uh-huh.
was like, "Well, you got soda money?" And so he went and got some. So he hustled. He was selling free bait to the people, to get soda money. But he got the
Yeah.
money for the soda. So you went out and you sell lemonade because you wanted that Barbie doll.
Yep.
So that is
Mhm.
amazing. And
Mhm.
when you talk about you doing your own production company, and then he was doing the whole t-shirt thing, and I think he did a
Mhm.
magazine or something. So just
Mm.
hearing you guys talk about this is so amazing. Your journey is so amazing. I'm loving this. I'm so
Thank
loving this.
thank you.
Yeah. I really so okay, so you did that stage play. So how far did you want to go? Did you want it to go with this? How far did you expect it to go? What was the end goal? The end goal.
So, I mean, I wanted to do it like I really wanted to do it like on a major level because during that time stage plays were like hot. They were like hot. But I didn't have anybody really backing me. And so like I had reached out at that time to a couple of people that were like playwrights that were actually doing it. I won't say any names, but um, and they didn't bite. They didn't bite. But it just taught me, I told myself, well, where there's no door, I'm gonna make a door. I'll create my own door. And so from that moment on, when I would hear those no's, it just motivated me to do my own. So from that point forward, it was just no stopping me. Whatever I wanted to do, I was gonna do, and I did. Literally.
So